A very warm welcome to all my listeners. This is Sheelaa Bajaj. I'm a life coach, a motivational speaker, and an author. And if you haven't read my book already, you should get a copy of it. It's called The Love Mirage, and it's available on Amazon.com. And this is episode number 12. And the topic for today's episode is giving up, failure, and that when you come to that point in life when you just feel that nothing is working and you just surrender and you give up. Now, I've had a lot of people write to me and said, I keep the optimism alive. I keep myself positive. I'm always, I'm a go-getter. I'm doing all of this. I'm doing it all and I'm chasing all of that. But then at one point I'm optimistic and then again I slip back and then I hit rock bottom. So how does one deal with that? How does one deal with slipping back and hitting rock bottom? Is there a rock bottom? Do we really reach rock bottom? Or is that something that we create in our mind? Is it just a mood swing we create to be rock bottom? What is this optimism? So I'm going to say that optimism or pessimism or being rock bottom or being high on life all the time is a habit. It's almost like a programming. It is, what are you used to thinking? And everything that you make a habit is something that you create in your life. Now, I've had people who tell me that, Sheelaa, I would do this, I would do that, I would do a whole bunch of things to make myself feel positive. And then I hit rock bottom and nothing's working in my life. It's because your automatic system or your autopilot mode is rock bottom or negative. So I'm going to say that that's something that one needs to change from within. What are you focusing your mind on all the time? Are you focusing your mind on, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. I need this, need this, need this. Or are you focusing your mind on, I want to create that, I want to create this, I want to create that, I want to create this. Like I can tell you for one thing, like I've never, even when I've hit rock bottom in my life, like when I really was rock bottom, when I was even at a point when I was penniless and I still had like my kids' school fees to pay, I never thought about what I didn't have in that moment. At the back of my mind, there was a very mild worry that I had to fill in the deadline, but it sort of like fades because my brain is always in a creation mode. My brain's always focusing on, oh, I need to create this. Like I always have 200 things on my things to do list of the things that I'm creating. So a lot of times I think we hit rock bottom because we don't have an agenda. We don't have a purpose. We don't have things that are priority. We don't focus on what we want to create. We rather focus on what we don't have and how miserable we feel about it. And I'm going to say that it's just a habit. It's creating a new habit. It's breaking an old habit and creating a new one. And that happens over time. That happens with constant practice. It happens with, the kind of things that you're surrounded by. Like there are lots of times that when I'm sitting just, blah with nothing to do. But the thing that I like doing most is learning. I focus myself on creating. Like if I'm not being intellectually stimulated, I think I will shrivel up and die. One has to find what drives them. Like for me, I'll watch random videos on Facebook and I'll watch motivational stuff that tickles me. You have to find what tickles you. Because if you don't find what tickles you, you're going to go back into your zone of what you do not have. And you only create more of that by the law of attraction. So are you going to create more disaster in your life of not having and keeping that status quo? Are you going to snap out of that mode, break the pattern, break the cycle, and move to the next level? Like I've seen a lot of people, all right, over the years, I have met hundreds and thousands of people. And I'm going to tell you, I recognize these people when I sit with them face to face, when I'm coaching them or when I'm doing a consult for them. I can recognize these people. I can almost tell you, even though this person is hit rock bottom, by their attitude, I can tell you whether this person is going to create phenomenons in their life or not. Because your basic attitude matters. Like I can sit across a person and say, no matter what this person gets in their life, if their basic automatic mode is to go back into, acha, this didn't happen for me. That I didn't create that. This I didn't get this promotion. Like everyone got it, but I didn't get it. Or this happened to this person and it didn't happen to me. Like if you always go into poor me, I'm the victim, things don't happen for me, even if you're just saying it to me, because people obviously have to tell me that because they're coming to me for a consult, so they're going to have to mention it. But I can tell by their tone, by their energy, and I can tell whether they feel optimistic or whether they're actually going down that rabbit hole. You can almost tell when you listen to people that this person's going to pull himself out of this crap and the other person's not. There are lots of times people just feel that, no, you have to get me out of this. Or they feel that, someone has to get them out of this. Like, I don't know, this is not acceptable. It's almost like you hold some kind of a warranty card to their life. I'm going to tell everyone that, you hold the key to your own life's biggest lock. Like, you hold the key to your destiny. Why would you think that there is a force on the outside that's going to create that? You can make the forces of nature and the forces of everything, conducive to your growth. It's like swimming against the current or swimming, with the current. So you can do lots of things to make life conducive and work for you. But your optimism is like swimming with the current, and your pessimism is swimming against the current. So if you have an attitude somewhere deep below that things don't work for me, that's exactly what you're going to create in your life. And I've seen people through the years, I've seen people who hit rock bottom. Are you waiting for someone to come and pick you up? Are you waiting to blame someone why it didn't work? Are you waiting to oh, you know what? I paid this counselor so much money, or this coach so much money to pull me out of this crisis, but they didn't. Because you hold the key to your destiny. Who is going to pull you out? It's your attitude. I'm going to tell you guys, I've hit rock bottom. I've hit rock bottom lots and lots of times in my life. And there are days that I feel extremely low. Now, when things don't work for people, I get people on, people who consult me. I get people who, on my study group, I get 2,000 private messages where people tell me, okay, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm doing, and I'm feeling low today. But what happens to the day that I'm feeling low? I'm responsible for my own low. I do not depend on anyone to pick me up. I pull myself up and I say, okay, what would it take for this to change? And I find what motivates me. I will search for it. I will search for it on Google. I will search for it on Facebook. I will search for it in another audio. I will find inspiration wherever it lies. And I will hold on to it. I will cling on to it, and I will pull myself up. So I'm going to tell everyone who's listening, do not depend on someone else to pull you out of this mess. Do not hope someone's going to pull you out or yank you out of this quicksand. You have to find that strength to hold on to something and pull yourself out. Because if you start hoping that someone's going to pull you out every time, you're weakening those muscles of snapping out of it. Do not wait for someone to come and console you. Like when you hit rock bottom and you're sitting in that rabbit hole, we always do this because people just come and try to get us out of it, make us feel better. But a lot of times when you don't have that support structure around you, like when I hit rock bottom, first of all, people think Sheelaa is not allowed to feel low. Sheelaa is not allowed to feel rock bottom. So when I feel rock bottom, no one can believe it. It's almost like, how can you feel low? That's not even allowed. So when I hit rock bottom, people don't get it. They don't see it. They don't perceive it because it's not allowed. And when I hit rock bottom, I almost have this awareness that I'm not waiting for someone to pull me out. So what would your universe be like if you didn't have to wait for someone to pull you out? If you didn't wait for maybe, things to happen. Instead, you said, okay, I'm taking charge of this moment and I'm going to create and I'm going to turn this around. And trust me, everyone has that capability fully to turn things around for themselves. If you feel rock bottom, say, why am I choosing this? What do I love about feeling miserable right now? There's always something that we love about our misery, or there's always something that we love about being rock bottom. Either we just get to be pathetic, or we get to be the victim, or we just get to sit in a rabbit hole and people get to pull us out. So you've got to ask yourself, what am I getting out of being rock bottom, or what am I getting out of being low? Do I get to blame someone? Oh, I get to blame someone. Like someone else is to blame for me feeling low. Or I get to dump this on someone. I get to make someone else feel guilty. Or I get to be poor me. Or I get to be the victim. So there's lots of times that we have these hidden agendas to sometimes choosing rock bottom, choosing for things not to work. Because you don't really get attention when things are going really great. Like when you're creating your life and you're going, like it becomes boring. Like when I achieve something, I almost have like family don't even react, right? Because it's just another thing. It's just another thing that I created, another business, another venture. So people stop noticing because you know what, people, like, what do you see in the news all the time, right? You see misery, you see, nonsense, you see accidents, you see where people messed up. You don't see stuff where people achieved something great. So people like to talk and write about things that went wrong, that got messed up. So when something phenomenal gets created, it's boring news. So hence, we subconsciously create disaster or we create lows in our life so that we get noticed. And not just noticed by, family, friends, by even ourselves, even like just, your peer group, your partner, your spouse. It's almost like we have this need for drama in our life. We have this need for action in our life. And if we are not creating that turbulence, it's almost like we're boring. So what if you shifted your subconscious focus of creating all that drama and that misery and that low and nothing's working and poor me, and what if you use that energy to creating something really, really exciting and wow in your life? What would your life be like if you shifted that focus of energy to creating something that blew people's minds away? Like not just create something phenomenal, but create something beyond phenomenal. Create something beyond something what people can fathom. Like you can't even comprehend that. It is just crazy phenomenons. What would it create, or how would that mess with people's head around you? And I think somewhere we don't use that energy to create that because we think we can't. So one, get off that judgment. Two, we also don't want to upset the apple cart. Most people are scared of bursting out of their skin, creating something really amazing because, hey, maybe that would make me the oddball out. And sometimes we also want to have this sense of belonging. We want to have the sense of belonging that we belong to this family or we belong to this middle class, blah, blah, blah. Something, middle class values or middle class family or middle class community. We don't even want to go above that because I think we're scared we'd lose people. Like you belong to a zone, you don't want to get out of that zone because you think you lose all of the people who are in that zone. So you're not creating your life and creating money and creating insane wealth because of that. So subconsciously we do these twisted things. So on one hand we say we want money, on the other hand we do all of these things. So doing a quick recap on what we spoke today, we went all over the place. We went all over the place because everything is connected. It's all a web. And a recap would be about how, when we hit rock bottom, why we hit rock bottom. It's a habit, it's a choice we make, and it is just a pattern, and you got to change the way you function. What is your predominant thought in your life? Are you focusing on what's not working, or are you focusing on creating? What is it that keeps moving in your head all the time like a repeat record? Is your mind constantly working on what you need to create, or is your mind constantly working on what you'd like to have or what you don't have in your life? Oh, I don't have a house. Oh, I don't have this. I don't have travel. I don't have that. And if you keep thinking about what you don't have, you'll create more of that. So you have to start changing your brain into working in a direction that makes you create more and attract more. And last but not the least, so what do you get out of being pathetic? If you're choosing to be rock bottom and saying things are not working, trust me, that's exactly what you're creating in your life. You are the master of your destiny. I've seen people have everything against them, all the forces of nature, family, everything, but they had so much determination. They fought their way through and they literally burst out of their skin and came out the winner. So you've got to make a choice at some level. Would you like to be sitting in your little box, or you want to break free from the box, find your wings to fly and burst out of the planet. And that's really a choice everyone has to make. So what you have in your life is a result of what you created, and what you created is a result of what you thought. And you have to think the constant repeat pattern thought in your mind. You got to observe what is that saying, and you got to change that if it needs changing. I hope this episode helped you. And if someone else is sitting down in the dumps or saying nothing's working for me, or if you find people who function from being pathetic, you want to share this audio with them, you want to share this episode, share this on your social media, give me feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Send me a message on Facebook, or just share it and comment somewhere. I'll find you, or do a review. And I want to thank all the people. I've had insane number of reviews on iTunes. I want to thank each one of you who have taken the trouble to write down what this created for you. Continue doing so. I'd love to hear from you. For now, this is Sheelaa Bajaj signing off. I'll see you in the next episode.